and welcome to the fifth and the final episode of Painting Helen's Bay. Now, I have to say, for my own sanity, this needs to be done because it hits a point in a painting where you just need it to be over with, or certainly I do. I mean, maybe you're something completely different, but that's how it works for me. So today we're going to add in the finishing touches, and at this point, I don't know, well, I'm definitely going to be using watercolour. I don't know whether I'll maybe use a little bit of coloring pencil, and I may use some of the Derwent Inktense watercolour pencils as well. But come with me as we finish off painting Helen's Bay together. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, I mean, I have to include the even stand that's holding the phone while I paint because it's such a big canvas. I think I remember saying it was roughly like 70 centimeters by 50 centimeters. So it really is a fair size. In fact, you know what? Let me get out the measuring tape just to confirm that. So actually, we're looking at 76 by 56 centimeters. So it really is very big. It's a watercolor board, so it's been really thick, and it can take lots of the work that we're doing on it because it is such a strong surface, and it's lovely to paint on. You can see that it is slightly bowing, and we talked about that a little bit before. Now, what I want to do is, as I said in the introduction, this needs to get finished, and it needs to be finished today. So I'm using this as my Winsor Newton set. It's in a just a tin that was actually provided by Daniel Smith, but it's the Winsor Newtons. So I have this really blue Payne's grey. So that's where we're going to start here. And I actually want to do quite a wash over the majority of it. Now I'm using this, this is a really cheap brush that I had got from, I think it was the likes of the Range. So almost not like a pound store or a dollar store, but you know, you're talking, it was £1 or a couple of pounds for this brush, and it's just really functional for covering larger areas. So I'm just going to use this very blue Payne's grey neat over these waves to give it a good wash over, just to bring it, settle it all down that little bit more. So we're just gonna bring that wash over. It's gonna really settle the ocean even more for me, which is gonna be good. Wanted to bring that to the edge so you could see that. And in this area here, it's even darker, so we'll just take this a good bit more neat and bring that right across. And then what we can do as well is just using the brushwork to sort of settle that in that little bit more. Actually, do you know, I think this would work really well. There's been this ongoing thing for me about this horizon line, because it's so important, and yet it's trying to get it really strongly done in. So really, haven't added any more water to this. I'm just taking it neat, and it's a lovely brush for getting that kind of effect. Okay, so we're getting a good wash of the ocean. All right, and then also underneath in this area here, there's that darker area too, so I'm gonna bring that in as well. So just using this neatly. It's a lovely color, actually. I think it feels like a Payne's grey that's been mixed with a phthalo, you know. Just using the brush. It actually nearly feels like it takes a minute to kind of settle into it as well, you know. I don't know how successful the waves have been. You can comment for me as to how you think, how well they have done. But what I'm going to do is just rinse that off, and then we're going to take, it's a difficult colour to discern what it actually is. So I'm really using a brown ochre at this point and I think what I'm going to do then is get some just Payne's grey, the lighter Payne's grey, the less, what do you call it, Payne's grey, what would I say, less blue Payne's grey. Hopefully you'll be able to see me mixing this here. Good, you are. Okay, and then this, let me see. So it's this idea of these waves kind of crashing, and I don't know, it's been a lot of learning for me in this one. certainly working on this scale and trying to capture so much significant detail, and I really want to let that pull, so just kind of dropping that down in these places. Okay, so let's mix that again. So what we're mixing is this brown ochre and the Payne's grey, that's the lighter Payne's grey. So I'll grab a little bit more of that, and this is pretty much neat now, and just a little bit of water. So what this is going to do is really begin to capture some of these highlights, or not, sorry, they're not highlights, the really contrasting areas that are so present in different bits. Hopefully from where you're seeing there, you can start to see it pop a little bit. And then there's just these little marks, these little bits here that I find that these bits are so significant. If you can notice those little bits, then they're going to really impact the overall image, because these little dark areas are just coming up ever so slightly, just peppered all over the place. And it's funny, the more that you attend to them, like anything, it's like if I said to you, don't notice the color yellow, or notice the color yellow, you're going to see it everywhere. Yeah, and that's actually dripping nicely off the brush there too. Okay, so we're gonna listen it down, that's not the right word. We can dilute, there's a better word. We're gonna dilute the mixture, and I don't want it too diluted. Okay, and we're just gonna, the brush is providing a really nice feel there. It feels like exactly the right tool for the job, and brushes really are tools, aren't they? They really let you can help you try to achieve what it is that you're looking for. Certainly the layering with the waves crashing, just those little marks from before the last time when we let it dry seem to have really helped. And then I'm just going to use the corner of the brush there I'm going to add a little bit more of that. Sorry, I'm going to add a little bit more of that bluer Payne's grey. Going to be a better word for it than bluer. But dalliance, I love the word dalliance. The dalliance of the waves, you know, the way there's kind of sort of frolicking around there. Okay. I don't know what I think. This piece has caused me, it's baffled me a little bit in some areas, you know. It's had moments where it's felt like it's gone really well, and others where I'm like, I don't know about this. But what I do know is it's certainly been a wonderful learning experience doing this. I hope you found that too. I hope you all know that, well, for those of you that are watching for the first time, you don't know, but I really enjoy the opportunity to help you if I can. So do get in touch and I will get back to you. The thing is that I've started to do more one-on-one online tutoring, so if that's something that you would like to avail of, then please do get in touch. And there's no offence if you get in touch and you decide not to go for it. I promise to not be offended. Okay, now the other thing that I want to do then is this colour. I'd really like to darken the waves down, and using that colour, that straight, really fallow Payne's grey that I've been using here with this brush, and let it pull on the, and actually you see the way that that's, even because of the way that I'm using the brush, the way that that is splattered a little bit on the horizon line. I'm so pleased with that. Did I tell you about my friend from the course that I take in Belfast, who talks about watercolour as a conversation with water? And I just think that is such a beautiful way to describe it. Sometimes when I'm painting you know, I talk a lot about accepting your own hand, another phrase that was given to me by a lady called Sherry. And if you're watching, Sherry, thank you so much for lending me that phrase, accepting your own hand. And sometimes what I struggle with about the way that I paint is feels like and it's probably coming from the way that I use the layering and the flat edge brush, but sometimes it feels like it can be quite almost sort of blocky, if that makes sense, or more graphic. And I like things naturally would gravitate toward things that are softer, and yet what comes from my hand is things that tend to feel a little bit more angular at times. So what I'm really liking about this now is that it's just feels like it's adding a little bit more softness to it. So that I find that really very rewarding. Can you see how, as we're arriving at the conclusion of this, how the process, I mean, the paintings go through so many different processes, and it's the process that really brings about the final piece. And just working with it, listening to it, just really, really gonna let me splat a little bit. Just get a little bit of that on the horizon. Now, hopefully I'm going to show you something. Those splats are nicer there. It's much, much softer. Okay, so I'm going to show you the dab and grab, which I'm sure you all know of from my other videos. So with this, just going to lift those because I didn't love those splats. I do like the wee smaller ones, and these two here as well. They seem a little bit awkward to me. So, okay, I am content that we have arrived. Oh, there's a little bit as he does his big speech. I am content that, oh, right, let me see. I'm gonna take just get a little bit more of this detail along here, because this is busy, this bit actually. This was looking a little bit empty there. Okay, now I can start my speech again. I am content that we have arrived at the conclusion of the painting. Yes, we have finally finished. So there you go. Helen's Bay started on plein air while I was there and finished over another 4, so 5 episodes in total. And this 4th one, or the last 4, or the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and 5th, were all completed in the studio. And this is where you stand back and just have a look around. Good to get to the end. So there you go, we have finally finished, and I'm really pleased with that. Now I'd love to know what that is. Like a phthalo blue, Payne's grey, you know, a black with that phthalo blue added in. That colour that provided by Winsor Newton, I must find out what that is. But for me, that really softened off and hard. So I was going to say softened off and hardened, that's not the right terminology. It softened off the waves and also provided the definition of the horizon line, which I was desperately trying to get. Now the lovely thing that happened then was, as I was using that brush across that, some of the splats were just dropping. You can see I'm gesticulating like crazy, I'm all excited. Some of those little splatters were then happening on the horizon line, which I'm really pleased with. I am pleased with the waves. I think waves are a real struggle and a stretch to do, but actually this has been a nice exercise in learning about that. I hope that what you hear from this series is that I'm learning, that you see that none of us arrives, that we certainly get better and develop skills through experience, but it's this constant evaluated learning, accepting your hand, accepting how it comes out onto the page, taking the risks, and then also when something doesn't, like when I tried one of those colours, I think it was in episode 4 of the Inktense watercolour pencil, and it was just too strong, so I just pulled back and leave that down. But there you go. Really pleased that that's now finished. Now, I've never said this before, but part of how I provide for my family is doing these videos and making art. So if you are interested in purchasing this painting of Helen's Bay, then please do get in touch and we can have a conversation about that. But as always, thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me patiently as I've gone through this process of 5 videos. And I will see you very soon for another episode in Woodward's Watercolours. But bye for now.